Hi guys, in this tutorial we will talk about wandering behavior or humanoid AI agent, which is part of a set of non-combat behaviors like the scanning and the stationary behavior that we observed in the previous tutorials. To enable a wandering behavior for this AI agent, we need to go into the core AI behavior script and select the default behavior for this AI agents to be wander. It will enable the wandering and will disable the scanning script at the same time for this AI agent. Let's expand the wandering script. The script info tells us that this script allows developers to set up a unpredictable traveling pattern for AI on the level. And let's see how we can tweak this behavior using the fields provided in the script. So the first one is shows the gizmo in the scene. That would be a sphere with a set diameter around this AI agent, or around the initial position if it is choose to be stored. We'll get to that later. The gizmo color is the color of that sphere that will be drawn in the scene. Debug wandering radius is the radius that gets created between min and max values of those two fields. So somewhere in between 5 and 10. And it will be shown inside this field during the gameplay. Core AI behavior script, animator component, and pathfinder are already filled. So those three fields were filled out with their respective components in the beginning of the agent creation process when we use the agent setup wizard. The min time between wander points and max time between wander points fields are setting the time interval for creation of the new wandering points for the CI agent. So that means between 8 and 10, but let's change it to, in our case, to be 5 and 7. Between 5 and 7 seconds, the AI agent will create the new wandering point to go towards. Store initial position option will make sure that each new wandering point would be created with an min and max value in relation to the first initial point where wandering behavior started, thus limiting the radius of overall wandering behavior to a certain area. But if it will remain unchecked, that will allow AI agent to wander around the entirety of the whole level. So we'll keep it checked for now. Min wandering radius and max wandering radius are setting the closest and farthest limits for the creation of each new wandering point. So in this case, it cannot be less than 5 and more than 10 meters between the wandering points. Wandering animation speed is set to be 1. Minimum stopping distance and maximum stopping distance fields are specifying at which remaining distance to the wandering point AI agent can consider it as reached and stop near it. Within 1 to 2 meters near to that point. So let's push play and then pause. And here we can see the red sphere that indicates our radius within which that AI agent can, and it is 5 meters approximately. And because we have that checkbox checked, every new wandering point will be created within that radius, and under no circumstances it can be created outside of this area. Plus, minimum stopping distance also takes place here. So when the guy stops, he stops at least 1 meter away from that wandering point, and the maximum 2 meters away from that wandering point. So all those values are taking place within that overall area, which we have limited to 5 meters for the sake of this demonstration. But I guess you can already imagine how you can tweak the wandering behavior by giving min wandering radius and max wandering radius like 10 times bigger values, and tweaking the min time between wandering points and max time between wandering points values would allow you to make longer stops at those reached wandering point, or make this guy to wander around without even making any kind of stops at those wandering points. Because if you'd set those values to be smaller, he wouldn't be able to even reach the current waypoint before the new one got created. So that would force him to switch to the new wandering point on the go, thus do his wandering without any stops whatsoever, and stay on the move constantly during the entirety of the wandering behavior, which we will demonstrate in the next example. For that, we'll uncheck store initial position. Let me rearrange some stuff here real quick. And min wandering radius and max wandering radius will increase to be 10 to 20. And with other values the same, but the increased radius, that will force the guy to be always on the move. Let's push play. And take notice of the debug wandering radius value. Now it's 14. Now it's dynamically changed to 13. And it will do so with each new wandering point being created. In a previous example, that value stayed the same because the radius was set from that initial stored position and it didn't change. But here, every time it gets created, it gets the new value because it gets created from the previous wandering point, and the whole cycle of setting the radius and then creating new wander point within that newly created radius and then moving towards that wander point gets reset again. And because we don't have any initial point stored to be as a sort of an anchor, that AI agent can wander around the entirety of the nav mesh area he is currently at. And if nav mesh area is the same size as your level, that makes him wander around the whole level. So that's it for wandering behavior. See you guys in the next one. Cheers.